Clerics are divine spellcasters that draw their power from the gods. It's a D&D class with as limitless of possibilities to its potential as there are gods in your pantheon. You can have gods of good and evil, you can have gods of order and chaos, you can have gods of light, war, illusion, plants, or even trade goods. So tell me why the hell every cleric, no matter what god they worship, all have the ultra-specific ability to turn away the undead.
Exactly the same.
Does anyone else think it's weird? Now, there may be some tiny merit to it, but I think there is a better way to go about it. So let's take a closer look. Dungeons & Dragons, or rather Wizards of the Coast, has come out with the new updated classes for the 2024 version of the 5th edition Player's Handbook, and they have provided a lot of good changes at that. For Clerics, you can now pick whether you are good with weapons and armor or magic instead.
So this choice is really a choice of emphasis or of spice.
Great choice to have instead of forcing your Clerics into one of those two paths in the previous version. Divine Spark is a good addition, giving you a necrotic or radiant attack, so they acknowledge power can come from both the upper planes and the lower planes.
So far, so good.
Even Divine Intervention, which was changed to more align with spell effects, instead of being a wish spell right off the bat, I could get behind. But the fact your only other channel divinity option is to scare one specific type of creature, then taking your whole level 5 ability to just damage the one specific said creature, makes absolutely no sense to me.
Well, what'd they ever do to you?
Now, I don't know what I expected. I had the same issues with the 2014 version of the Cleric, and to be honest, I didn't expect them to change it all that much, but I still found myself disappointed. I think in this case, as with many other things they didn't change, they prioritized familiarity over innovative and new. So I don't entirely blame them for not changing it. I just think for all of the critical thinkers out there, it could have been better.
Still includes the option to turn undead, which again goes all the way back to 1st edition.
Now, you may be asking why D&D made the choice to have all the clerics hate undead, and my best guess is the concept of exorcism, the process of banishing spirits that are possessing a living body.
The power of Christ compels you.
But even that isn't super accurate, as it was often demons and devils that were the possessors and the ones that were being exorcised. So shouldn't clerics be able to turn away devils? I mean, angels and devils have always been in contention anyways, right? But in D&D, we know that ghosts or ethereal undead are usually the possessors, so I guess they are the ones who get exorcised instead.
They should leave those undead alone. It's not fair.
But really think about it though. Clerics turn undead. But is undead really the worst thing imaginable to a god of plants? Unless you're playing Plants vs. Zombies, I think the more appropriate enemy to a plant god would be the forest beast creatures that chew up too many gardens, or the humans who knock down too many trees.
Of course, humans.
That's what your cleric should be able to banish, the things that actually threaten its domain. Is the undead the worst thing for a god of civilization? More so than the monstrosities or dragons that keep destroying the cities? To be honest, undead might really actually help this god. Get the necromancers to create some thralls and build up the city with free labor. And even further, a cleric of shadow or death might despise creatures of light or healing. So celestials would be the type of creature that they would want gone. But I think I made my point. In order to really provide options that make sense for the cleric, here's what I would fix. Change the feature to be similar to the 2014 version of the Ranger's favored enemy. Done.
I fixed it!
The Ranger isn't even using its old favored enemy feature anymore anyways, so why not give it to the Cleric? Instead of being forced to turn only undead, why not be able to choose what creature type is the enemy to you and your god? Your god of technology really hates plants, so you can now use your channel divinity to turn plants instead of undead. Similarly to the old Ranger feature, you may have the choice of humanoid races as your favorite enemy as well. As we know, humanoid creatures as a category by itself is a lot and is most likely in every campaign, so picking one or two subtypes I think is appropriate. But if you feel that this could quickly have racist connotations, I would expand this and turn it into humanoid organizations, a certain cult or government officials or members of the enemy military are all viable options for specific humanoids that you can turn. The last one being especially good for a war cleric.
To give every cleric, regardless of subclass, a channel divinity option that is likely to be useful in every single session of play.
Now I get the arguments for the feature staying just turn undead, instead of another creature type. Even a cleric of evil or death could turn the undead, not because they hate them, but because they control them. And there is also the argument where all the gods provide a different kind of afterlife, and undeath keeps the soul or individual from obtaining that afterlife. Probably need to look into things if new tenants aren't moving in. So if that works for you in your own lore brain, good for you. Just not for me. And I will be giving any cleric at my table the option of the creature type that they wish to turn or banish. And if you think that this is strong because there are more monstrosities in D&D than undead creatures, or more undead than there are plants, then I will remind you that you have the power in the game to put said creatures in front of your players. Many campaigns only have a few undead, if at all, and I would rather a cleric actually put their feature to use.
So our goal with the new divine intervention is we wanted to give the cleric certainty that their class feature would actually do something.
As it stands right now, if you have a cleric, you are required to put undead in your game to help them feel relevant. Otherwise, it's a dead feature, pun intended.
This man died from laughing too much.
So for the ease of all of you watching, I will include an updated cleric class with just the couple features swapped out to make the options a bit better at providing the flavor you need, linked in the description below. It was a short one today, but I think I said all that I wanted to say, and it is a relevant video as we are getting the official release of the new rule set. So let me know in the comments if you like the change or would do something different. You can check out more cleric explorations here, or if you're curious on my thoughts on why genasi don't make sense, click here. Until next time, go out there and make your worlds a better place. See ya.